We saved this Porsche Boxster from the junkyard and are now turning into a 1960s inspired vintage supercar. To do this, we stuffed Tony's father's Ford V8 engine into it, extended the wheelbase, converted it to 6-speed, and we are now hand-forming the body out of aluminum. Frustrated with the loose panel fitment, this week we spend time refining the metalwork of the nose. All that and more in this week's episode of Project Jigsaw.
Last week, our hammer forms worked really well, and while we want to keep moving forward with what we started there, I think it's more important at this point to get all of our pieces lined up and tied together, and right now, they are really far from lining up.
It's funny how when you don't have the center panel here, this looks a lot shorter. It looks so much more aggressive because the center panel has been pushing this up. This is why we're doing this right now, because nothing is lining up the way we need it to.
And while that looks close to what we were after, it definitely does not give, the right vibe, and it looks a little, hokey.
Say it again without saying twice. They don't know what you're saying.
They do know. They know me very well. And while it was close to what we were after, it's, You know what you don't know, Ryan?
We're doing a challenge today where Tony can't say
I can't say you know.
Every time Tony says he's got to do 10 push-ups today.
I'm gonna be jacked. I'm feeling way better about this now. I was really starting to doubt us as it came together because it wasn't coming together.
Don't doubt us.
And yeah, that was my mistake, was doubting us.
You're a hater.
But now it looks way better just by taking that panel to the outside and clecoing it.
It was up here, now it's down here. It looks so much better. So right now our big challenge is the upper headlamp panel here, right where these two spots are welded and the warp that occurred from it is causing it to kind of pick up a little bit on the corners. I'm gonna pull this off. We're going to work these two spots right here to kind of get it to drop down a bit. That's a little further than I wanted to go.
Whoops, don't miss, Ryan.
Tubing's not very wide, that's for sure. Missed.
Maybe you should take the camera and I should take the drill.
No, I'll keep it from sliding up and down. That one was perfect.
Good job.
Thank you. Trim this back. So I'm gonna round this over to flow into that better. I think if I just shrink it a little bit, given the angle it's at, it should get us there. So now that we're happy with the fit across here, everything's centered, it's staked down with the clecos. We got 3 across the top here, we got 2 at the top there. Nothing can be mistakenly put in the wrong spot when we put it back on the car with these 2 panels. What I want to do next is how this panel transitions into the quarter panel is the problem right now. There's 2 things we need to do. First off, the excess material on both sides is not equal. So I'm gonna cut them down to be the same distance. We're gonna cut the old flange off the bottom because we do not like the flange at all. And then we're gonna give this more of a radius.
So now that we trimmed that panel, it revealed a possible symmetry problem, or actually I would say it revealed a symmetry problem. We're going to take a template of this side. We like this side, and then we're gonna flip it over here and make sure that this side matches that side. So just taped a couple pieces of poster board together, trimmed this to follow this shape, which is, again, a little bit of guesswork because we're on a radius, so there's
10
no...
push-ups.
What's that?
10 push-ups. That's what happens when you say too much.
There you go.
Try again.
So we made a pattern. It's on a radius, so it's not 100% defined, but that's enough that we have a reference to go back and forth. So now we're gonna flip this and see how close we are, which actually we already did. And then when we looked to see how square this was, we found that we needed to shift this over just slightly. So our center is now newly marked. We're gonna do a couple more things to confirm that, but it looks like this is our center and not that. And you can see we're a little off here.
Just
not a lot.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit of fettling.
The human eye can pick up a lot, so that little bit was showing up, and we're gonna address it now rather than later and have to do a lot more work.
All right, Tony.
Yeah.
How are you gonna move that peak?
That's what I'm wondering. I haven't figured that out yet.
I'm gonna let you figure it out.
Okay. I got to get rid of it first and then add it, right? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it any other way.
I'll let you figure it out.
All right. That's better.
Yeah, it's much better. Now that this is all sorted, we can return to this center panel. And what bothers us right now about it is that this is pretty much completely straight on the end. The straight edge confirms it here. Whereas we'd rather it be more like, I don't know, something like that. Something a little more rounded. So I'm going to use the planching hammer and some shrinking and get this thing to cooperate. I goofed up. I think I was hammering a bit too much for our just individual tacks to hold things in place. Easy enough fix. Just gotta slide this over, clamp it, and weld it, but.
Gotta do that first.
Yeah.
These pieces are coming together really nicely. Nice tight fit there. This piece, not so much.
It does not fit at all.
Teeter totter. So
it's like a Minecraft piece.
I think it's obvious what we do next.
Yeah. Which means it's time for the big FH.
Roger?
Yeah, Roger. It's time. It's like a golf ball. That's how we get the good aerodynamics.
That's right.
Let's see if my idea is working out or not. Sometimes in metal shaping, it's better to be a little bullheaded and take a big hammer and just beat the crap out of the panel, get it roughly stretched. I think our problem with this panel was that we were just kind of dancing over it lightly to give a little bit of shape, which it ended up having like basically no shape to it, and it had no character, and it was just really stood out in the car as being way too flat. I'm using Roger here, turning it into a golf ball. But I'm not worried about that because we'll be able to massage these dents out pretty quickly with the English wheel or planching hammer. This gets you a faster result that you can refine later. So if you tiptoe too much, sometimes you just don't get enough done. Case in point. bit of curve. Now I feel like we're getting somewhere. So that's our quick roughing here. We have way more shape. There's a couple spots that need attention. Right here's a little flat, right here's a little flat. But I think we are definitely headed in the right direction because it looks so much better.
That panel's got a lot of curve now.
Yeah, it does. I'm hoping that I haven't ever done it, but I'm thinking we've just been too on the safe side and not getting enough curve. So I'm gonna lean heavily into it and go against my intuition and go a little bit extra curvy and see how it turns out. I'd say we're like, I don't know, 85 or 80% there in the rough shape. So it's really like 65% there. The biggest problem I have right now is with these clamps on here, it's almost fitting. There's a gap here, but that's mainly because the panel wants to twist back. So I gotta figure out how to untwist it. Then we're gonna get some more ripples out of it, which the ripples are already pretty good, but I'm gonna get them out a little bit more. And then we'll get it clecoed up.
Pop that clamp off, you'll see exactly how much it...
Boing! That looks so much better. It doesn't translate well in the camera, but that's the before and that's the after.
It doesn't look similar at all when you put it on the car.
Yeah, there's the before. That looks like a potato chip. And there's the after. All right, Tony.
All right, let me get my tools. Shrink this. We've done so much and it's been a while, so sometimes I have to remind myself everything that we've done. And we started by putting my dad's V8 engine in the middle of a Boxster. And to do that, we had to extend the wheelbase. We wanted staggered wheels, so we raised the suspension, moved it back, added a 6-speed transmission, and we got this engine that hadn't run in 20 years running and did donuts on its first day out in a sloppy, rainy day. And once we got it running, then we knew we wanted to work on the bodywork, so we did that. We've been building this nose. We built a cooling system for it, took it from dual radiators to a single. To remind ourselves where we were headed, we had to dial this stuff in. We were really Ryan and I both were getting a little discouraged with the shape that this seemed to be taking. It wasn't following our vision, and it was just because we needed to go back and start refining our panels. We were trying to get it all blocked in, which we did, and we just needed to get to a point where we're really tying this stuff in and it doesn't feel like a bunch of stuff glued to the front end. It came down to the profile that we were after here. It was getting really big, and it was simply because we had panels sitting up on top of stuff that needed to be trimmed off. And I am so happy right now with the way this looks that I don't know that anything more needs to be said. If you look at this and look at the last picture from last week, this just looks so much better.
So recently we've gotten an influx of emails, messages, DMs, you name it, about fulfillment for shipping and buying off of our store. Right now we're fulfilling from the shop itself, so shipping globally is really complicated and expensive. So let us know in the comments down below if you're interested in buying merch from us, which again, we're gonna also expand our line here shortly as well. Let us know where you're located and also what you'd like to see in the store to help support our channel and continue to grow, so that we can also send you guys some neat stuff. So the plan is next week to figure out how to get these things mounted and make buckets for it, because these driving lights are gonna look sick. And we're gonna make the whole picture come together a lot better.
Yep.
Not to mention, honestly, I kind of like how it looks without the fake headlights on it right now. It looks so sleek.
Yeah, I was getting tired of the plastic blue.
Maybe we'll leave them off for a little bit.
Yeah, and just get these mounted. You know, these look really good.
They look very good.
You know, if I had to say so, we did a great job this week.
Yo, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, you know, Tony, you did a great job.
You need to do like, I don't know, 50 push-ups now at this point? I wasn't counting, but you said it a lot of times. One.
Brian spent some time in the Army, so this is the way they count push-ups in the Army.
Yeah, those are weak. 1, 2 is up.
Yep.
3 is down.
Okay.
4 is up.
Okay.
That's 1 count.
That's 1 count. That's 2 push-ups.
I know. You tell me. You tell me that. I know.